Hey, welcome to HVAC Animated. My name's Jeff Bennington and I'm your host. And today I'm going to talk about the 5 traits that are required for an HVAC company to grow. So if you're the owner of a heating and cooling company, or you're part of the team, or you're just interested in the service industry topic, stay tuned. I think you're going to like what I have for you. Hey, welcome back to HVAC Animated. My name's Jeff Bennington, and I used to be an installer, a install manager, and I did quality inspections and subcontracted for a heating and cooling company over the course of my career. And today I'm a territory manager, and I work with about 30 heating and cooling companies. And so my list that I'm giving you today on the 5 traits that are required to grow a heating and cooling company are based on my experiences, not only working in and around a heating and cooling company for many years, but also now working with 30 companies. And many of my companies will range from less than $1 million in revenue to probably in the $5 million plus in revenue. And so when I look at my top dealers, seem to be some common traits that I see among them, and they're traits that are needed and required for them to get to whatever level of success they're at now. So I want to talk about those 5 traits, because if you want to grow, if you feel like you're hitting a wall, then there could be something that you're missing, and it could be one of these traits or somebody to fill one of the roles. So the first and most common trait that I see with my top heating and cooling companies, and actually amongst most of the contractors I work with, is the visionary role. And the visionary is the most common because it's common among entrepreneurs. So, an entrepreneur sees a vision for a business that they want to create. So whether you're starting your heating and cooling company from scratch, whether you purchased it, or whether you are, second generation, you see something in the future that doesn't exist now. And it's that visionary that is capable of taking that vision and building something to get what they see in the future. They build a team. They start coming up with creative ideas of how they're going to run their business. They create systems and processes. They go out there and they're wearing all the hats, and they're getting they're creating that vision, and they're making it happen. And there's a book called Rocket Fuel written by Gino Wickman and Mark Winters. And in this book, it focuses on 2 traits, 2 absolutely required traits to run and grow a heating and cooling company, or any company for that matter. And it is the visionary, and it's the second trait that I see among my successful heating and cooling company owners, and that's implementer. The implementer is the one that is able to take what the visionary is building and implement all the ideas and the day-to-day functions that they want to create. And the reason an implementer is necessary is because a lot of times the visionary is coming up with a lot of great ideas and new things and new creative ways to solve problems and generate revenue, but they can get bored once they start getting into the grind of that day-to-day operation. So it's the implementer that's required to make those kind of sort of dreams actually happen. And the implementer does this because that's their strength. They're able to be laser focused on day-to-day goals and manage through the people and obstacles that accomplish these monotonous tasks that tend to bore a visionary. So there's number 1 and number 2, the visionary and the implementer. I highly recommend that you get the book Rocket Fuel. Awesome book. I learned a lot from that. But moving on to the third trait that I see among successful owners is that systems builder. So as you get to the 1 million mark and as you're getting close to that, and you have to have another 2-3 people to help you get beyond that barrier, you have to start building systems, because now you're developing a team that is out there generating revenue on your behalf. And if you want them to do it the way you envision your company reaching those goals, you need to have people in place. And And those people need to operate according to certain systems. So the systems builder is required for growth. Now, the picture I just painted for you is for a smaller company, but if you start getting 10 or 12 people, right, you've got an install department, a service department, dispatching and call taking. You're going to have some level of finance. You're going to have sales. You need to develop systems and processes for those. So as people are coming and going in the complexity of your business, there needs to be systems for people to follow, processes and guidelines for people to follow as they come in and take on new roles. And that requires a systems builder. And so the role is similar to the implementer, but a systems builder may need an implementer to get the systems that they put in place actually functioning day to day. But a systems builder is required because they're just highly skilled. They know the numbers. They know their KPIs. A systems builder knows the daily financial targets, and they create job description roles, and they basically create a template for a turnkey system. So if the owner walks away, someone new comes in and owns it, that business is still going to run and function day to day. And all that happens because of system builder. So we got a visionary, an implementer, a systems builder, and then the fourth trait that's absolutely necessary is the techie. And what I see out there is I see owners that are actually the techie. They're the owner, and they're out there and they got their pulse on installs, on service. They've got their pulse on their customers, and they are ensuring that by boots on the ground, working at ground zero, they're ensuring quality of service and quality installs and quality products go into the hands of their customers. And they're very much involved in that day-to-day boots on the ground in the business. And this can be a beautiful thing if you as the owner want your company to be at the level that you're at. But unfortunately, you will hit a glass ceiling if you want to remain working in the business but not working on the business. Because if you're going to grow beyond probably around the 3 million and beyond, you have to step back and work on the business, and someone has to be doing the visionary work, the implementation, and the systems building. Absolutely, it's required. You will not grow to those levels unless those three roles are being filled. So if you're the owner and you're still the techie, then there's going to come a point where you're going to hit a ceiling, some higher or shorter than others, but that ceiling is going to be hit. And you may need to hire someone to fill that techie role so you can step back and run the business and manage your managers, so to speak. So the techie owner role works good for about the 1 to 2 million range, but if you really want to grow, then you as the captain of your ship really need to get out of the hull and start steering the ship instead of working down in the hull. It's hard to steer and guide a big ship if you're not up above watching where your company's going. So, okay, now we're ready for the fifth and what I believe is the most important trait for any company that's going to go beyond the 3 million mark into the 5 million mark, and that's the leader coach role. If you start growing your business and you're in that 3 million plus in revenue and beyond, you must be a master at leading and coaching your people. You cannot have a company that's fulfilling your vision with managers managing multiple people without a good coach leader who is guiding those managers and those top people personally and professionally. Because when you're at that level, you require people to just push your vision forward, to hold people accountable, to build a business based on the values that you expect from your people, and somebody has to be there guiding them, leading them, and coaching. And if you haven't mastered this trait, you could find yourself being frustrated by the failures of other people. And this is why this trait is so important, because at that level, there has to be someone guiding and coaching and leading. And if they're not doing it well and mastering their emotions and helping people to develop, you will find yourself frustrated because people don't think the way you do. People don't, they're just not as good as you are at certain roles. Like, these are the kind of things that could be going through your head, and you'll be disappointed in people. You'll be disappointed in how they're not able to do the things the way that you did. So instead of getting frustrated like that, step back, become a better leader, a better coach, and then you can guide them and help them and coach them if they do fail, you can coach them gently and train them. And that's why the leader coach is so important. And my very top companies that are moving up into that 3 to 5 million role, they're doing that because there is an excellent leader coach in that position. So hope this was helpful. All 5 of these are necessary at some degree. Hopefully you can have an honest look at yourself and say, okay, here's my strength. One of these roles I know I'm good at. And if you're hitting a wall and you realize that there's a position or a trait that is required for you to get to the next level, maybe one of these traits, you find someone that can fill that role and help you become successful and take your business to the next level. So if this has been helpful, like the video down there and share it, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and keep bringing you more content like this. So thank you for listening, and have a great night.